Assalamu alaikum. In disorders of neurological system, today we will study about cerebrovascular accident, or in short CVA. Cerebral vascular disorder is an umbrella term which refers to sudden loss of brain functioning resulting from a disruption of the blood supply to the area of the brain. It is a functional abnormality of the central nervous system. Seek immediate medical attention if this disorder occurs. More quick someone receive treatment, the better the prognosis is. As the stroke left untreated for too long, it can result in permanent brain damage. CVA, or a brain attack, is defined as the abrupt development of a local neurological deficit as a consequence of a local disturbance in the cerebral circulation. Or a stroke is a medical emergency in which the blood supply to any portion of the brain is interrupted or reduced. Alternative names for this disorder are cerebrovascular accident, cerebral infarction, or cerebral hemorrhage. There are two types of CVA. These are hemorrhagic stroke and ischemic stroke. Inadequate blood flow to the brain resulting from partial or complete occlusion of an artery leads to an ischemic stroke. Extent of stroke depends on the rapidity of the onset, size of the lesion. Symptoms may progress in the first 72 hours as infarction and cerebral edema increases. There are further two types of ischemic stroke. These are thrombotic stroke and embolic stroke. A type of stroke caused by rupture of the blood vessel in or on the surface of the brain with bleeding into the surrounding tissue is called hemorrhagic stroke. Hemorrhagic stroke results from the rupture of an aneurysm or any artery within the brain, while aneurysm is a localized swelling of the artery. There are further two types of hemorrhagic stroke. These are intracerebral hemorrhage and subarachnoid hemorrhage. Risk factors for the disease are subdivided into two types. These are modifiable and non-modifiable factors. In modifiable factors, there are hypertension, smoking, high blood cholesterol level, obesity, heart disease, and diabetes. Non-modifiable factors involve age, gender, racing, and heredity. Pathophysiology. Three factors involving cerebral hemorrhage, occlusion of major vessel, or other causes leads to cerebral infarction. This will lead to decreased blood flow level in the brain and ultimately hypoxia. The result of this is focal neurological deficit, and the ultimate picture of the disease leads to hemiplegia, paraplegia, speech and sensory deficit, or coma. There are stages of CVA. On the first comes a transient ischemic attack, or TIA. Transient ischemic attack is a sudden and short-lived attack. Reversible ischemic neurological deficit. This is similar to TIA, but symptoms can last up to a week. Stroke in evaluation. It is gradual worsening of symptoms of the brain ischemia. Complete stroke. This involves symptoms of stroke, stable over period, and rehab can begin. This diagram showing the clear picture of the diseased person. The signs and symptoms involve headache, mental changes, confusion, disorientation, memory impairment, aphasia or CVA left-sided hemisphere, respiratory problems. These are decreased neuromuscular control, decreased cough or swallow reflex, agnosia. This is decreased sensory interpretation, and incontinence of urine. Seizures. And hemiparesis or hemiplegia, emotional lability, visual changes. These may be homonymous hemianopia and Horner syndrome. This involves ptosis of the upper lid. Vomiting, perceptual defects. These are present in severe right-sided hemisphere, and hypertension. Apraxia involves decreased learned movement. Decreasing learned movement. Health assessment involves assessment for motor paralysis, sensory alteration, dysphagia, visual alteration, agnosia, apraxia, communication disorders, bowel functioning, dysarthria, perseveration, inability to visualize, emotional lability, impaired judgment, and short-term memory deficit. Level of consciousness is altered and distorted bladder function. Laboratory studies involve CT scan, urgent, non-urgent contrast CT scan of the head to rule out parenchymal ischemia and bleed. On the second comes MRI, same as CT scan, hemorrhagic rounded shape and uniformly high density. Physical examination involves neurological examination. ECG is done to identify arrhythmias. Lumbar puncture is done to assess increased pressure in bloody spinal fluid. And blood test involves CBC, PTA-PTT and INR testing. These are classic signs of a stroke. These involve face, arm, speech and time and is abbreviated as FAST. In face, assess for does the face look uneven and ask the client to smile. To assess arms, does one arm drift down, ask them to raise both arms. And to assess speech, does their speech sound stranger, ask them to repeat a phrase. And time, every second brain cells die, call immediately the emergency response center. Medical management of the disease involves supportive management of airway, temperature, blood pressure and cardiac assessment. On the second comes thrombolytic therapy. On the third comes antiplatelet drugs and anticoagulant drugs comes on the fourth, and the fifth comes vasodilator drugs, and on the sixth or the last steps comes neuroprotective agents. Surgical management involves clipping, coiling, craniotomy and carotid endarterectomy of the any emboli or thrombi. The diagram is showing the on the first coiling method and on the second clipping method of any aneurysm present in the cerebral artery. This diagram is showing the cardiac endarterectomy. This diagram is showing the procedure of craniotomy. Nursing management of the disease involve first of all nursing assessment, assess for vital signs, pupillary assessment, assess for airway, breathing and circulation, assess neurological status, level of alertness via GCS or Glasgow Coma Scale, assess speech and swallowing difficulty, record intake and output, assess for presence or absence of movement, muscle tone and body posture. Nursing diagnosis for this specialized disease involve altered level of consciousness related to altered cerebral tissue perfusion and increased intracranial pressure as evidenced by GCS is 13/15. On the second comes ineffective cerebral tissue perfusion related to interruption of the blood flow and rebleeding as evidenced by changes in vital signs. Impaired communication related to aphasia, dysarthria as evidenced by difficulty in reading, writing and speaking. Impaired physical mobility related to hemiparesis, hemiplegia as evidenced by unable to walk or do activities of daily living. Impaired swallowing related to decreased or absent gag reflexes as evidenced by altered level of consciousness. Planning involves maintain vital signs, maintain GCS, maintain stable body functions, minimize complication of the stroke, maximize communication abilities, and maintain adequate nutrition, free from infection, maintain effective personal and family coping. Nursing intervention for the disease involve maintain patent airway, monitor for changes in the client level of consciousness, suction on the standby, and assist with communication skills if the client's speech is impaired, assist with safe feeding, assess swallow reflex and thicken fluid to avoid aspiration of the fluid, maintain skin integrity. Encourage prompt every too early to the unaffected side and elevate the affected extremities to promote venous return and to reduce swelling. Maintain a safe environment to reduce the risk of fall. Stroke prevention is done by monitoring blood pressure, have your cholesterol level in check, stop smoking, stop or limit alcohol consumption, eat healthy food and do regular exercises. For the patient education, uh, present clear explanation of all care or treatment plans, focus on improvement regained abilities, include family in the planning and demonstrate self-care skills, learn techniques to self-monitor and maintain physical wellness. In rehabilitation, assess for swallowing, communication skills. Complications may involve motor and sensory function. Coordinate resources. These are speech therapy to assess swallowing and speech, physical therapy to assess ambulation and strengthening of muscle, and bowel and bladder function. Appropriate self-help resources. This diagram is showing this small nursing care plan for the disease. Complication of the disease involve dysrhythmias, pulmonary embolism, rebleed, increased intracranial pressure, hydrocephalus, seizures, aspiration pneumonia, urinary tract infection, deep venous thrombosis, and cerebral edema. This is a summary of the disease, and these are references. Thank you for now.